Okay, welcome back everyone. Let's get right into the stock market technical analysis. If you're new to the channel, I cover stock market trade ideas, technical analysis. We use the charts to be our guide. We're looking for profitable trade ideas. So that's what we're covering here on this channel. So subscribe if you're interested in that stuff. Hit the like button if you find value. And then once again, I do have a technical analysis course. It's not really a day trading course or anything like that. It's really based around technical analysis, how to read the charts, what to look for, how to find trade setups, how to manage risk reward and find favorable trade setups. All that combined into multiple videos. And then I also give a checklist, kind of a trade setup checklist included in that course, link in the description below. And then finally, if you're interested in joining the private member group, I'm basically commenting on additional trade ideas and market insights that I see throughout the day, posting those in the member section there. So if you're interested in that, link in the description on that one as well. Okay, so we'll get into the charts. We're going to start with the general market analysis. I'll go through some individual trade ideas and then we'll wrap up. Real quick, guys, triple Qs, I don't see a whole lot over the last few days. If I go down to, it's really the hourly chart is what I'm focused on right now. We have an uptrend to watch here. You can see there's your upward trend. We do have, kind of a top end. They're starting to kind of compress. It looks like we're starting to compress within this triangle. And that's it. I think we need to see where this thing wants to go for the next move higher. I don't see any indication really of taking a swing short. And I don't know why it's doing that. Taking a swing short. And I don't really see an indication to really want to go long either. So for the most part, I'm just flat. And you can see right here on triple Qs, we're basically just right in between resistance and support. So for me, no trade there. If we look at the NASDAQ futures, you can see here, same kind of thing on here. We had this upward price channel on the futures. They got a little ahead of themselves during the Fed week and the FANG earnings and stuff. Back down within the wedge, and you can see basically, as of right now, we're kind of stuck in between resistance and support. So just right in there in the middle. So no trade. It's just not objective to take a trade here. I suspect we head down to the bottom of the channel here. But, nothing says we can't pop up and then head down. So for me, it's kind of just no trade right now. Okay, and in general, the SPY, the S&P 500, and the small caps and everything really just look the exact same. So I'm going to just pass through those. I want to get into some individual trade ideas, some things that look interesting to me. Let's start off with Lyft. Okay, Lyft on the daily chart. Now, I've already been talking with the private member group about this trade and really pointed this out this morning. But on Lyft, daily chart, you have a clear bearish rising wedge pattern. All right, that's very obvious bearish rising wedge. We have a sell signal and a breakdown. Today, you can see pretty impulsive selling down 6%. We do have earnings tomorrow, so that might put a little bit of, maybe a little volatility, obviously, because it's already down 6%. So it could, they could pop it on earnings. But let me tell you how I'm looking to play this. For one, this candle, unless they have some sort of monster recovery today, then this is a bearish engulfing candle on the daily chart. So I'd look for confirmation or more selling tomorrow to help confirm this bearish engulfing candle. And that's usually a reversal stick, which means that we're likely going to have a decent pullback here. Possibly, and if we do pull back, we've got the 200-day simple moving average about 1524. And then we also have some 1375 support down there. So I would look for those two targets on the downside, okay? Possibly a lot more, to be honest. We could, if you roll out, we did have this bullish rising wedge here. And you can see that's your trend line resistance. We broke out. So if this thing wants to, it could really come all the way in for a back test. Completely possible. But as of right now, it looks like we have a sell signal. So I'm short this thing. I took the sell signal. What I'll do, and let's go down to the hourly charts because earnings is coming out tomorrow. So they might pop this thing up for a back test of the wedge after earnings. I'll look to add to my short right there. If they do pop it up right after earnings, I'll add to a short and look for a continued move to the downside. Okay, otherwise, I'll just stick with what I have. If they gap it down, I'll probably just stick with what I have. I'm not going to be adding to a short if they gap down. So that's how I'm looking to play that one. I like it. You can see also on the hourly chart, negative divergence. So within this bearish rising wedge, we've been diverging lower, where there's our negative divergence, telling us that, okay, probably going to break down. So, and we're seeing it. You know, we have the sell signal as of now. Okay, that's that one. UNG, this is, I'm just going to be all over the place. UNG, natural gas. Okay, so the nat gas, you know, basically we're looking at an hourly chart here. You can see we've been building bullish divergence for a while here. It's been really building for quite a while, and we're just waiting. We were waiting for that breakout. Now you did get the breakout yesterday in UNG. Today they sold it down for a perfect back test of that trend line. So to me, it looks objective to add or buy, go long, I guess. Nat gas, UNG. Now again, remember, this thing's extremely volatile. It can move up and down 10% within a day. Or more sometimes. So you need to taper down your position size to manage your risk. You load up on this thing and you can't ride out a 10, 15% move against your position on a daily basis. You're too heavy in the position. So if you don't understand that concept, again, I teach that stuff in my technical analysis course, risk management and everything. That's a key part of trading. So again, taper down your position size is what, you know, how I'm planning, you know, how I'm doing it. And I would expect we're going to start to rally from here. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for. Next level of resistance. It got some resistance about 1020, it looks like. We got some more right up here at about 1170. Those are some key levels of resistance that I'm seeing. Okay, so that is that. And then this one also looks interesting. Wheat. So let me show what we got going on here. Wheat. You can see here on wheat, and we'll look at the futures as well, but here's a kind of a downward bullish falling wedge pattern. Big bullish divergence on the daily is signaling a big breakout is coming. And you can see as I zoom in, the last couple days, there's this key level of resistance is about 778. And each and every time they've hit it over the last few days, it's been rejected, falling back within the wedge. That's key. You can see we hit it here, popped above it here, popped above it here. But each of these 3 days, we closed back within the wedge, closing there, closing there, closing there, and then on this fourth day, closing there, closing back within the wedge. Today looks a little different. Today, they're breaking above. Now, unless they sell this thing down in the next hour, then to me, this looks like a buy signal, okay? And it looks like we're breaking out of the wedge. You know, we'll close at resistance, so maybe a little pullback, but I suspect we probably just rally right on through. All right, so that's what I'm looking for. And again, bullish divergence on the daily, bullish falling wedge pattern. This all tells me that we're going to rally. And if we rally, I suspect we'll rally. There's a potential trend line. All right, you can see this was former support. I think we could rally up to there, hit the 200, and maybe pop up to this 908 area. So that is what I have on wheat. Unless they sell this thing down to close, into the close, then I would be looking for, I will be long this into the close. You know, as long as they don't smash it down and close it back within this wedge. Oh, and yeah, real quick, the futures, wheat futures, same kind of pattern. Bullish falling wedge pattern, big bullish divergence on the daily momentum indicators. We have a breakout. We've broken out the last few days, just kind of trading sideways. Looks like they're starting to ramp it up though. So it's definitely bullish, and you got to take it for what it is, and that's what it looks like to the chart. So again, you know how I'm planning on trading that. EMR, this is an industrial. So I talked about this one over the last few days about this potential bearish bear flag pattern, which looks something like this. So you have this flag. You got the flagpole, you got the flag action, and I was expecting a pretty impulsive break to the downside to continue the flag, okay? And that's exactly what we have on earnings. So earnings came out. I was expecting earnings to come out negative because of this bear flag pattern. Sure enough, gapping down, selling down below the 200-day moving average. In general, I think we got some more downside, probably some minor support here, about 84.22, so maybe a little bounce there. I think we're going to trade down to about the 80.50 area. That would be the measure target for this flag. So that looks good from more downside, although not objective to short right now because, I mean, you gap down, you're down 6%. It just doesn't make sense to take a short when something's down 6%. Okay, so I did talk about that, especially in the private member group. I, gave that one out in the private member group as a, decent short. right there, and I was expecting more downside. Sure enough, 6%, so that's nice and profitable. The other thing to notice on the daily for this one, you've got this downtrend line coming off the January or September 21 highs. Down, down, down. We broke out here, but this breakout came with negative divergence, indicating a likelihood of a failure. You did fail, and it's basically a big bull trap. This is a bull trap. You sold down, flag out, breakdown. All these people, all these trades are now decently underwater, probably 8-10%. So again, that's the fuel for the impulsive move down. And I suspect we probably have a lot lower to go. But for now, measured target about 80, 50, 81, somewhere right in there. Boeing, again, bearish rising wedge pattern. We broke out. We're just kind of trading sideways. It's just not going anywhere. So need some sort of a catalyst. Again, the next objective sell signal would come on a break of the most recent lows, about 203.40. You take that out, you should start heading lower. And I would put good probability we take out that 203 that we're going to head down for a back test of this trend line, which is about 179, 180, 178. Depends on when you hit it. Again, on the daily, that's a nice, well-defined trend line. We broke out, so come in for a back test makes a ton of sense. And again, this breakout it has occurred with negative divergence. Okay, so it tells me that this breakout has a high probability of actually failing and being a false breakout. So as of right now, I've still put pretty good odds that we head down for a back test. Down here, we'll have to see. And then if you obviously break back down within this trend, then that's very bearish. Okay, this one, DHI. So in general, a couple things. Start out on the daily chart. You've got an upward channel, kind of an upward trend. Negative divergence building on both momentum indicators has just been extended. Each new high, it just continues to extend. Okay, so when I narrow it down to the hourly chart, you can see this channel right there. Nice clean upward channel. Broke the channel, chopped around. They did this little pop right here right before earnings. This was on that really hype week right before the Fed came out. I think that is the high basically for this move. And I've talked about that. It's actually a gap. It's an island cluster on the hourly chart. We've moved down. Creating this secondary support, 1, 2, couple reactions, 3, and then today we're breaking. So that looks a little different. Unless they can ramp this thing up and recover it, I suspect we've now started this downward price action. So looking for a lot lower prices. Final target 78, 79, right in there, which is a gap fill. There will be zigs and zags along the way, but that's the swing trade. Vertex, VRTX, talked about this one, a couple of weeks back as the objective short right here, all right, on this back test. Again, bearish rising wedge pattern, all right, negative divergence on the daily. Everything looked very good for a bearish setup. We had a sell signal trigger here. That was actually the sell signal. I didn't notice this one until it was basically backtesting, but they ramped it all the way up for a really perfect backtest, and especially on this day right here, they popped it up and made a new divergent high on the daily, and that was the very last moment of, that was the high, and then it's all selling since, very impulsive selling. So we're coming into the 200-day moving average, maybe a little bounce there. I don't expect it to hold. I think we'll probably consolidate, okay, for a few days, maybe a couple weeks, consolidate at that 200, and then I would look for more downside. I don't see much support until we get to 273.01. Good support there, decent support there, probably get a bounce. And then long term, I do think we're coming down to this trend line here, which comes off of 2011. You can see I've got lots of tags of support, and that would be my longer term target for now, is all the way down there. I do believe we've started that trend towards that target, that longer term target, but we'll have bounces along the way. So looking good. And if you took the short at that objective entry there, it's profitable by almost 10%, 9.5 or whatever. JP Morgan, this one really looks, I've adjusted my trend line a little bit, but in general, I think we've got this bearish rising wedge going on, and it looks like it's about to break. Nice clean negative divergence on the daily chart. I think this will break probably tomorrow, but we'll see. Again, so if you haven't shorted it, maybe it makes sense to wait for the sell signal, which comes on a break of this trend line. But it does look like it's going to happen any day. So, and then I think we've got some support down here at 128. It's about 129, 128.80. We've got the 200-day moving average. It really depends on how far this thing really wants to go. Big support is down here at 105. Okay, so if it really wants to sell down, that wouldn't be the measured target. Right now, the measured target would be about, let's go ahead and grab the widest part of the wedge. Depending on when you break down, the measured target right now is about a move down to this 129 area. So I like that as an objective target. And that's about 8-9% down from where we're at now. So that's it. Cat's just working its way lower. On Cat, we had a clean uptrend. It's, kind of a bearish rising wedge, really. We had a break, back tested for a couple weeks, finally gave it up on earnings, gap down, and it's really just, we're just working our way lower. So I think we continue down. It's sell the rip. Rallies, in my opinion, should be sold into, or opportunities to add into shorts as you rally into resistance. Next level of support is about 237.84. Looks like decent support right around in there. Could be a little higher, maybe up that 239 area, somewhere right in there. But I do think we're going to work our way lower and make, probably at a minimum head down to this 226. There is a gap all the way down here to fill, down at about 200. So areas to look at. And gold, this is the gold miner. So I've got this bear flag. It looks like a bear flag right now. We're kind of flagging out right over the last few days. If we continue lower, it is projecting a move down to at least 29 and potentially down to this 200-day simple moving average down there. I think that would probably be the end of that move down and a buying opportunity. So, I think maybe a little more downside and then probably an opportunity to buy for the next move higher in gold and gold miners. Again, this breakdown had a bearish rising wedge pattern, had negative divergence on the daily, had everything we look for. So it is playing out, just looking for a little more downside. Okay, that's all I'm going to cover for today. I think that's, quite a few. So guys, drop me a thumbs up if you're finding value. Leave a comment on how I'm doing or something you want me to look at. I can't get to everybody's, but I do kind of browse around. So let me know and I will catch you on the next video.